Okay. So, this is it. What you've been waiting for a very long time.
Hey, patience endures forever.
Well, go ahead and take a look around first, and then I can show you all the details, because there's quite a few details about how things work.
Oh, yeah. Aha!
Okay, so you want to hear all the details?
Yeah.
How the place works? Okay. All right, actually, let's start here. You know, the roof will collect rainwater. Okay. And it'll run down into this gutter. Comes down through this downspout, into the wall, into a water tank that's basically a black tub that'll hold about 12 gallons, 10 to 12 gallons of water.
Is there like an overflow?
There is.
Thing?
The overflow comes down here, and we're actually...
Because 10 gallons, it holds up pretty, fills up pretty fast when it's raining.
Right. So yeah, overflow is this pipe here.
Oh, okay.
This is a drain from the shower. This is a drain from the sink. So this will actually kind of irrigate this tree, give you more shade here, which will also help shade the structure. But yeah, so the water comes down in here, but obviously we don't get rain all the time. You're going to need to supplement it. Obviously it's not going to stay full forever.
So you just pour it on the roof?
Yes. Yeah, that was the easiest way to fill that tank that's up there. Oh, and by the way, you know, we have that west-facing window to act as a passive solar water heater. The setting sun, even in wintertime, should get warm enough that that'll get hot. And that, well, maybe not scalding hot or anything, but warm enough to take a shower, be more comfortable than, like, you know, and the water shouldn't freeze.
But in the
summertime, you can flap that flap down to actually prevent it from getting too warm. Right now, it's just about lukewarm. Because we just filled it. All right, so when you need to put water up there, one thing you want to do is you don't want to have the bucket much more than halfway full.
Right. Or
it's designed.
Dump.
Also, the weight of the bucket was more than we expected, so it actually pulls down on that arm up there, and it's kind of tough to swing it around and actually get it on the roof if this is more than halfway full.
Oh,
so,
it swings around?
Yeah. Yeah, see this? See it's,
oh,
on,
it's
hinges?
on hinges? Yeah.
Right, and that allows you to kind of, using the I'll show you in just a second.
All right.
So one thing also you want to do is, because it's fairly heavy, creates a lot of friction if the ropes are twisted. It's really important that we don't have the ropes twisted. We manufactured this system out of stuff just commonly available at Home Depot, rather than kind of welding something.
Right.
So we kind of had to make do with various parts of things that obviously weren't intended for this purpose. We had to reinforce it, strengthen it. You're going to raise it up, making sure it doesn't twist. Starts to twist, kind of untwist it. Keep it from getting too twisted up. Get it as high as it'll go. Then you're going to start by swinging this around. You can see it's just a little bit, we actually have a little too much water in. But if you take this actually at the bottom.
At the bottom?
Yeah, what you want to do is you want to kind of like set it up on the rough edge a little bit. There you go. And then you can just let out with the, let this out a little bit. That'll give you, so you don't have to strain yourself. Just let it sit there temporarily. Then you want to, obviously you don't want to dump it on yourself. Just want to give this a little tilt. And don't let it go all at once, because that fabric will actually shed water a little bit. We want the fabric to act as a filter, but we don't want it to all the water roll off. So I just pour a little bit out at a time. You can kind of hear it go. You're just going to let a little bit of water come out at a time, because it takes a while for the water to actually seep through this fabric, which is acting as a filter, before it goes in the gutter. We found out the hard way, if you dump a full bucket of water on it, it just all comes off the side. And keep in mind, this design would be very different if we knew it was coming out here originally. In the original place you were at, we wanted it to be as low as possible, just to not attract attention, So we could have made this roof a lot steeper and drain water better and all that, but we didn't know it was going to come out here.
You have the valve turned on, right?
Yeah. I never turned it off anyway. So hopefully you didn't. There's a shutoff valve that prevents water from coming in if you ever needed to do that, but that should pretty much always remain on. I'll show you that in a minute. Okay. So we did this good this time. No water off the sides. Later. So, the water has come in. Into this insulated area where we've got the water tank. Comes through that valve into the tank. Like I said, there is an overflow, and actually it might even kick on because we already had some water in there, but I don't see it going yet. But basically you got a full water tank to start with, okay? That would be a shutoff if you ever wanted to prevent water from coming into the tank, but pretty much that should always remain in line and on, so you don't have a situation where you're not filling the tank. So that obviously needs to remain shut because in the summertime, especially, even in afternoons in the winter, that's going to get warm. That keeps it insulated. So these two pipes, or this pipe, comes in a downspout, two pipes. One that goes to your shower. We got very simple, inexpensive, we try to do as cheap as possible, ball valves. Okay? And one that goes out, this one comes out around into the sink. Oh, we timed it, and with the tank full, we timed it at like 11 minutes at a pretty good flow. So it should give, if you did, you could probably get 3 showers out of a full tank. If you...
Yeah, shut it off.
Yeah, and even if you... And that was actually continuous, so you could, if you do shut off and trickle out, you'd probably get like 10 showers out of it. So. This is a light, yeah, it's a solar light. Okay. Now you've probably noticed these as well. In the wintertime, like in the summertime, you're going to want to have it, have it set up like we do.
Yeah. And
we can adjust these shutters with those slots to kind of capture the breeze and funnel the breeze through. Yeah. So it keeps it cooler in here. In the wintertime, you're still going to want sun to come in during the day to warm the place up. But you may not want the cold wind coming through. So you can actually bring these flaps down. Right. We did get you a water pitcher. This is actual water that we filtered through the entire system. We already drank it. Nobody's died yet. So it works.
No, nobody fish popped or anything?
No. Obviously in winter at night, you would shut these shutters. And they're fairly airtight when they're shut. Okay? You can also, when they're shut, and by the way, we left you a little rock here to stand on, because you have to kind of tilt it up kind of high to get it past those bolts. Then it'll flip down. You can latch it down there. And you can even lock it if you're going away for an extended period of time. You had something valuable. Okay?
Keys?
I got a set of keys for you in a minute. I'll show you at the end. So, that just shows you how that opens and closes. When it's open, on a day like this where it's not very windy, you could just have the awning, this flap, sitting on the shutters. However, as soon as it gets windy, you know what the wind can do to this, right? So what we've got is a system where you can slide it, you can put it in the location you want to capture breezes, in here, or even there. Yeah, and this can slide up. And then through the top, let me grab a bucket, stand up. This same water bucket, you can use as a stool. And you can actually slide this through
Or we can edit it.
a little hole.
Yeah.
And that'll keep it all locked together, so when the wind's blowing, it doesn't blow it apart.
1, 2?
Yes. What we did is again, to try to keep things as inexpensive as possible, we actually used an interior grade door, which is weak enough that someone can kick right through it. So we added a layer of insulation, and it's also not insulated, so we added a layer of insulation, and then the siding, which we have in the shed, we also put on this. Alright, so this is a composting toilet. Obviously there's no plumbing that goes in or out. And by the way, did you smell anything in here?
No.
Alright, it's been used, believe it or not. So I just wanted to show you that it's perfectly livable. This has been sitting here for, since last weekend, like last Friday, okay? But basically, you do your business like you would anywhere else. You can even put toilet paper in there just like you would anywhere else. As soon as you're done, grab some sawdust. We'll bring you sawdust every once in a while, but if you run out, you can even go to one of the wood shops in town and ask for some. They've got tons of stuff to give.
Or dirt.
Or even just dirt or dust or ash from a fire, whatever you might have. And you're just going to sprinkle it on top. And you just want to make sure you completely cover everything. Usually you produce, this sounds kind of gross, I know, but we got to talk about it. usually your body's producing a lot more liquids than solids.
Yeah.
So you can also pee out there, but when you do produce liquids, this stuff should float on the surface. Now, if you sat for a long period of time, the liquid, the urine, might soak up the sawdust, and you might begin to smell an odor. Just add a little bit more on top, it'll go away. This is much more odor-free than an outhouse.
Okay.
Now, when it is time to dump it, it's just a 5-gallon bucket. Which you can grab your shovel.
It's outside.
Yeah. Okay, so now we can go ahead and dump it. You don't even really need to dig a deep pit if you don't want to. Again, this may be a little gross. But you can see how the sawdust essentially soaked up. Yes. Soaked up the stuff. If you dump any kind of compost in this pile, in other words, anything organic, apple cores, if you're eating an apple, orange rinds, banana peels, anything that'll biodegrade, you can dump in the same pile.